Alright guys, MarkBoy316 here with another video, and today's going to be my thoughts on WWE uh, basically selling the WWE Network to Peacock. I understand why they did the move, because Vince thought, wait a minute, Peacock is in more homes and more people have Peacock than have the WWE Network, so we get more eyes on the product. Alright, smart business decision, yes. However, you can't rewind, you can't fast forward, the search engine sucks. They're removing like the DX making fun of the nation because X-Pac was blackfaced. Piper and Bad News Brown from WrestleMania 6. It's on the timestamp on the bottom of the screen, but the match is completely removed because of Piper painting himself half black and half white. I'm sure back in the day, Bad News Brown didn't have a problem with it. Vince didn't have a problem with it. Piper wouldn't have done it if Brad News would have had a problem with it. He was just trying to get in his opponent's head, and kids watching that back then didn't realize what was going on or why he did that. And it happened 30 years ago. Calm down, people. And Vince, you should have put in the contract that Peacock can set the price, which is I think $4.99 for pay-per-views and stuff, which is cheaper than the network. That's awesome. And you should have put in uh, you should have made sure before you sold that that streaming service was as good or better than yours. That you can fast forward, rewind like the WWE network. There was nothing wrong with your network. Your network worked fine. Search engine was great. There was a lot of content on there, but you should have put in the contract that they can do all that and just tell them to put a disclaimer before either a match or an event and tell people that there's issues, certain issues, or this content contains racial tones or whatever. Put the disclaimer at the beginning. So all you had to do, and tell them that the content itself, they are not allowed to touch it. They're not allowed to edit it. They're not allowed to remove anything. I'm sure they're probably going to remove the entire Benoit matches. I'm sure anything in the Attitude Era, of course, with their raunchy storylines and the sex and violence. Everything from ECW is probably going to be taken down. There's going to be nothing left on that network. So people, keep your DVDs because that's the original footage, and you'll have better quality. And how would you feel? You're a fan paying for a service and you want to watch an event. You would like to watch the whole thing, not a event with missing matches because it got removed because of people got butt hurt because people got upset. Like really, everybody knows the stuff happened. If the person who's watching it and paying for the service doesn't like a certain match or doesn't like a certain angle or interview, they can simply fast forward, rewind, or click, turn it off. That's their right. That's all you have to do is put a disclaimer at the beginning of the event, or if the event's perfectly fine, but there's a match in it that nobody that Peacock doesn't like. All right, put a disclaimer. But you don't have to remove matches, remove segments. They removed the segment with Vince out back with John Cena saying, "Hey, what's up, Mike?" And he said the N word. And Booker T, who's African American, also obviously was right there. And in character, he said, "Oh, I can't believe you just said that." And obviously, he was fine with it. And what the heck? If I'm sure that they ask the talent before they do stuff like that if they have a problem with it, and if they do, I'm sure they would not do it. So if the talent's fine with it, if the company's fine with it, what's the problem? Like it's 2021, people. Like if you're paying for a service, you expect to sit down, watch an entire event, and be entertained and watch the event in its entirety. You don't want missing matches or missing segments out of it. You don't get the full experience out of it. That's just my opinion on Peacock. Why did you sell to Peacock if their service was worse than your service, Vince? I know what you were trying to do. Like I said, Peacock is probably seen in more homes. They probably get more subscribers than the network. But I think it was a bad move. And a lot of people now that probably sold their DVDs when the network started because, oh, we got the network. We don't have to worry about buying DVDs anymore. Now they probably have to start rebuying their DVDs. People, well, obviously, you guys, WWE are no longer making documentaries, no longer uh, putting out DVDs except for pay per views, basically. So, everybody, like I said, keep your DVDs. They're going to be worth even more now that the network, that Peacock, is taking all those down. But all the controversial stuff, like even Disney Plus is like everything's racist nowadays. Like everything is just getting out of control. And as a fan of WWE, obviously I am a fan. Having over 1,200 plus DVDs, I am also supporter of the WWE and wrestling in general. I have I am a consumer. I buy their product. I watch their product, and I know this doesn't affect us too much here in Canada, but even our network is not changed over to Peacock, but the things are being removed from it, so it's still affecting us. So yeah, just I think it was a bad deal, Vince. You really used to be such a good promoter, and you used to be right there for the fans, and now you don't give a rat's ass about the fans, and you're just in it for the money. Do you really needed that much money? You're looking at record profits for the year of 2021 or in 2020 because you're not doing live events anymore. You're always shooting from the same building. You cut back a lot of people salaries and not giving any bonuses and raises to the office staff. You're not like I said, doing house shows. You're saving money on that. You let a lot of people go when the pandemic first hit. Save money there. You're doing record profits, so you obviously didn't need the money. You just should have been way more careful and put it in the contract that they cannot touch the content, they can't edit the content, they can't remove the content unless they have uh, WWE's 100% uh, say so that they can. Other than that, they're not allowed to touch the content. You just gave them the rights for the to put the content on their network. You didn't give them the right to remove stuff. That's how I see it. You should have at least put that in the contract. I think it's a stupid decision. It's gonna come back and bite you in the ass. I think. A lot of people are very upset. Even when you tried to do Fastlane, people were having trouble streaming Fastlane. And WrestleMania is coming up. How's that gonna work for the new service? Like, I think Australia still has the actual network, and places like that over the world have the actual networks, not on Peacock yet. But from what I understand, the search engine sucks. You can't fast forward, you can't rewind. Like, really, you should have thought this through better than this WWE. Like, wow, imagine the stuff they're gonna take out. I can just imagine now. It's gonna be a G product. It'll have to because the Attitude Era had some violence, sex storylines, raunchy storylines, and ECW was violent to the core. It was a violent show, and a lot of interviews and stuff is going to be taken out. And I don't think that's right. I think the fans expect to watch something close to their original format. Like, I don't mind watching WrestleMania 15 on a DVD if some of the music is edited. That I don't mind because obviously music rights eventually you, you lose them. You can't use the music anymore, so they change the music. I don't mind that. Even when they blurred the WWF logo in the corner of the screen, that I didn't mind. It was still the original event. They just blurred the logo. But see, edits like that, I don't mind. But when it comes to taking out matches and segments, that's getting a little over the top. And yes, what Benoit did was horrible and hideous, and that was in his personal life. I think his in ring uh, stuff should still be available to anybody who wants to watch him in the ring, learn from his in ring stuff. Not what he did in his personal life, in his real life, but I think he's was still a great wrestler. So still, it's like they're censoring movies, cartoons now. Like, holy crap, people! Like, calm down. Like, oh, this was just my thoughts on Peacock. I think that's how they should have went about it. Tell Peacock you can air our content. You can put a disclaimer on it. You can do basically what you want, other than removing matches, removing segments, and tampering with the content. You can adjust it. You can put, like I said, disclaimers. Viewer discretion is advised. This content contains sensitive issues, anything like that. That would have been perfectly fine. But to actually remove complete segments and matches, wow. Like, really. Holy crap. I remember back in the day, JR used to say, if you don't like our product, simple, change the channel. Stone Cold, he said if there's a he thought everything was good, that Vince could use any topic or subject he wanted. He is the producer and director of the show, obviously. He's the be all end all. But two things that Austin didn't like was storylines having to do with racism and storylines that had to do with I think it was beating up women or something like that. And he said, other than that, that turns him off the product, and he doesn't watch. He doesn't care for those issues. So well, there you go. If issues like that bother you, don't watch. Watch the other stuff you like, and don't watch that part. Very simple. Fast forward, rewind. Fast forward, I should say. If you don't like a certain segment, there you go. Or click it off. Very simple, guys. Like, my God, like it's not rocket scientist people. But again, I think it was a bad decision to switch over to Peacock. Uh, I don't know how they're gonna be able to fix this, or they should have made the deal, in my opinion. In my opinion, but again, think that's just my opinion. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about the switch to Peacock. If you want go, you can go ahead and read about it. It's all over Google. You can read about it everywhere. I think it's just ridiculous. Vince, used to be so good for the fans, and now, like I said, he don't give a crap. Like, you just worry about the money. I think it's time you step down, and I know it won't change overnight, but dear God, some change that has to happen somewhere, somehow. Stephanie, Triple H, if you want to sell the company to a different organization or different people, go right ahead. Just make sure you still have a say in the company, and you can still do changes and stuff. But dear God, if Triple H and Stephanie want to run it, go right ahead. Like, wow, like there's got to be some changes happening, hopefully, and good ones, hopefully. Like, apparently, right now, Vince is saying he's on board to working with other companies. Holy crap! You had a change of heart. What? You don't know from one day to the next how he's gonna wake up feeling and what he's gonna do. Like, one day he might like you, next day he doesn't like you. One day he'll fire you, the next day he'll hire you back. Like, Vince, make up your damn mind. And hopefully for WrestleMania, it's a good show, and hopefully he doesn't have too much input in the outcome of the matches. He'll let the backstage people handle it and stuff like that. But well, anyway, that's my thoughts on the Peacock deal. Thank you guys for joining me. I'll catch you guys in the next one.